Ever since the Boruto manga has entered the time skip, people have been speculating Sasuke or Koji as mentors of Boruto. It was kinda teased in the timeslip arc of the anime as well. However, do you really think Boruto was able to achieve the planetary feat with mentors who are weaker than him? So could it be that a new character is responsible for teaching him the Uzuhiko? And if not, then how did Koji get the knowledge of this technique at first place? Let's find out. The power levels of some Boruto characters have officially surpassed even the strongest shinobis of Naruto. Kishimoto has been doing this to keep the game fair against the new Otsutsukis, who will soon make their entry into the story. He won't drive his protagonist and protagonist helpless against the battalion of formidable foes. That's why he's making them more powerful in unexpected and exceptional ways. The only problem lies within the people who are in charge of training the overpowered characters. While Kawaki doesn't seem to have a mentor so far, which means he impressively awakened the full Dharma I by self-training. Boruto on the other hand could be trained by not one but two masters. But are they actually worthy of mentoring an Otsutsuki humanoid? There are a lot of issues with Sasuke and Koji being the teachers of Boruto. Their roles could have been limited to a companion and guide, just because the young lord is way above their league. Everything that he learned from Sasuke and Koji could have been made possible by the Karma Seal. It was said by Ko during his final fight with Boruto that the Karma lets the user utilize the millennium-long battle experience of the host Otsutsuki. Assuming Momoshiki also has the experience of Kinshiki, cause they both had fused prior to his death, Boruto's Karma could have granted him the necessary skills to become a great swordsman without the help of Sasuke. He could literally become the most strongest warrior if only Momoshiki had mentored him in using the Karma. So why did Kishimoto let Sasuke and Koji become his companions and mentors at first place? Was this all done to show that Boruto is not just an Otsutsuki or an indigent of the Karma? The way he attributes himself as the last shinobi in the prologue scene and the victory that he acquired over Code without any karmic involvement also hint at the same. So let's say Sasuke's role in the life of rogue Boruto was important in order to prevent him from making the same mistakes. But what about Kashin Koji? How was he able to teach him a variant of the Rasengan which easily knocked out an opponent who is stronger than Jigen? Well, I have got a few solid explanations to describe how it's possible, but before going there, let's discuss how it might not be Kashin Koji who taught Boruto the Uzuhiko. Kishimoto has been foreshadowing this new power of Boruto from almost a year now. He initially hinted at it in the Mirai novel, where the wind style of Asuma's daughter shares a huge resemblance to this technique. There is a lot more clever foreshadowing that I have discussed in this video. Take a look at this scene from Boruto ending 18. It's a thorough representation of Aida activating her omnipotence in the middle of a forest. What's more interesting is that this ending theme appears in the anime almost 2 years before this incident. The production of anime theme songs typically span from half a year to a full year, so the making of ending 18 must have started around the time when Warrior mode was introduced in the manga. This means that Kishimoto has the whole story planned and he's dropping Easter eggs to foreshadow the upcoming events in visual and textual form. So there might be a lot more hidden teasers of the major events that are about to happen in the story. It could be a scene from an anime opening or a manga panel which got ignored by most of us. Now take a look at this panel. It's from chapter 75 when Amado was explaining the wrath of Shibai Otsutsuki. The vortex around the Otsutsuki god resembled the circles of Uzuhiko, or this artwork which was used to promote Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. Here the surface looks like the moon, and as we know from the anime, a really important character is sealed on the celestial body. The way Kishimoto has teased the future of the series so far, it won't be wrong to assume that the Uzuhiko has ties to Shibai Otsutsuki and even Boruto's training on the moon. Now here comes the part which devalues the role of Koji and Sasuke. Boruto being a pure Otsutsuki with the dojutsu which seems to have ties with the divine is way above Koji and Sasuke in every manner. We know that he was helpless against Code almost 2 years ago, so something must have happened in the blank period which made him a broken warrior. So if it's neither Kashin Koji nor Sasuke who taught Boruto the Uzuhiko Rasengan, then how was he able to learn this formidable technique? In order to understand Boruto's grind of transforming the Rasengan into the most broken technique, we will need to get a glimpse of the mechanics behind this power and why it was called a planetary spin by Daemon. There is even a rational Shibai connection linked to this power that will completely blow your mind, so stay tuned. The Uzuhiko utilizes the planet's ever-spinning chakra and infuses it into the opponent. This chakra makes them dizzy and confused, so they are unable to grasp their sense of direction. This is why Code wasn't able to attack Boruto. He couldn't figure out his position. That's why he repeatedly missed all his attacks. Now that we know how this technique works, which place could have helped Boruto in studying the rotation of the planet? Judging by the hint dropped in the promotional artwork, it could be the moon. Boruto could have learned the Uzuhiko on the celestial body, cause that's the only place where he can comprehend the rotation of the planet. I have covered the moon trading theories on this channel before, but they lack the Kashin Koji angle. So before diving into the spectacular Shibai connection of Uzuhiko, let's understand how this technique might be related to the moon and the clone of the Sanin. We know Toneri is trapped on the celestial body under the Dragon Palace seal for 1,000 years, and only he knows about the Jogan of Boruto. I covered a theory more than 2 years ago where I discussed why Boruto will need an Otsutsuki mentor when it comes to the pure eye. Just like different clans in Naruto specialize in their own unique Kekai Genkai, only the Otsutsukis must have in-depth knowledge of the Shinjutsu. So Boruto going to the moon to unseal Toneri made a lot of sense, cause he was the first person who made him aware about the Jogan. According to the novels, the moon Otsutsuki sped up the process of Jogan's awakening, but he also knew that the turn of the dojutsu won't come for a while. The last panel of the latest chapter showed us Boruto using the Jogan hand sign, and the way his right eye was kept hidden signifies the possibility that he has already unlocked the pure eye. So did Boruto actually went to the moon to study the rotation of the planet, explaining how he learned the Uzuhiko? And could it be that Toneri is the real mentor of Boruto? Well, the Uzuhiko learning theory also makes sense because Shibai Otsutsuki, who was shown to manifest a similar power, had devoured millions of planets in his lifetime. This means he must have acquired their rotation as well, which explains how he performed a similar technique. Now, while it's not necessary for him to devour planets for the sake of learning Uzuhiko, there is another analogy which is completely mind-blowing. The subjects of Shibai for some reasons have moon-inspired eyes, which ignite his connection to the celestial body. What's interesting is that the Uzuhiko technique is regarded as a planetary spin, and the moon is known to influence the rotation of Earth in real life. There is a phenomenon called tidal locking, which refers to the gravitational interaction between the Earth and the moon. The moon's gravity makes the oceans rise and fall, leading to the formation of tides. This process continued over billions of years, which made the days on Earth a bit longer, which is why it takes about 24 hours for one full spin. Implying this in Boruto's case, this enhances the possibility of Uzuhiko being a moon-based jutsu. He could be getting powered by the Otsutsuki on the moon, which is Toneri, similar to how the celestial body affects the rotation of the planet in real life. This explains how he was able to pull off a planetary feat in his base form. It's actually some other Otsutsuki from the moon who's powering him up behind the scenes. So how does Shibai come into play here? Well, this might have something to do with Kashin Koji, as there is a slight chance for him to possess the remains of the Otsutsuki god. However, he didn't teach him this power or any such technique. Rather, Boruto still required an Otsutsuki mentor to utilize the godly remains. That's where the Moon Master Toneri makes his entry, and there are possibly two ways for Boruto to reach him. Firstly, it could have been the Jogan's subconscious activation, which teleported Boruto to the moon. He could have been trapped in a life or death situation with his masters when the Jogan got activated, just like in the anime. It makes sense because there have been other instances from the anime which hint at his off-screen manga awakening, like Boruto appearing out of nowhere to stomp on Code's face when he told Sarada to call him. It was said in the anime that the Jogan can hear voices, similar to the clairvoyance power of Aida. So Boruto using the pure eye to find Code and spoil his plans is a huge possibility. Secondly, chances are Kashin Koji must have told him that the only safe place where Code will never reach is the moon. Boruto must have then used his flight ability to reach the celestial body along with both his mentors. So these were the theories discussing the possibility of Boruto's Otsutsuki master. But if it's actually Kashin Koji who taught him the Uzuhiko, how would it make sense for him to know such a formidable power at first place? Well, here comes the common misconception of power scaling in the story. Koji was able to teach Boruto the Uzuhiko cause he had every necessary requirement to learn the technique at first place. A large chakra pool thanks to his Otsutsuki transformation, a blazing will to become stronger, and a mastery in forming the Rasengan. He was able to easily defeat Code not because he's particularly stronger than him, rather this ability that he used was way too overpowered. Similar to how Naruto in the first episode used a forbidden jutsu which could corner a Jonin level shinobi, but if we talk about normal circumstances, the Jonin could have easily killed him. Similarly, Code indeed possessed more raw power than Jigen, but the reason he got smacked by Boruto is mainly due to his lack of skill set and battle experience. Even his white karma is a dummy which doesn't let him absorb jutsu, which again puts him in a disadvantage disadvantage. This is why Konoha faced destruction by the hands of Kawaki, and the shinobis got endangered, even though Boruto had a trump card like Uzuhiko. Kawaki utilized the battle experience of Ishiki's Kama very well, giving Boruto a very tough competition. It's more about knowing the right battle tactics rather than having limitless raw power. Kashin Koji was nothing but a cyborg who had acquired massive Otsutsuki knowledge from Amado. He more or less required a disciple who could execute his forbidden knowledge in creating formidable techniques, and Boruto was the perfect fit. Now that we are done discussing Boruto's new mentors, let's take a look at the hints teasing the next superpower of Boruto. It's most likely gonna be a time-related power, and the biggest hint can be drawn from the trilogy of Creator, Preserver and Destroyer from Hindu mythology. Find out more about this theory in this video, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stuff. I will see you next time.